guys walked into a bar, and one guy he walked into a pool, and the other guy he walked into Seth Kuhn. Whoa! Today, rewriting your life story, creating the future you want. That's the time. Oh, it's the time where the guy's going to get out of his chair and do some dancing, but he's not going to do it today. Nope. Good morning. Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, CMarty, producer Kristina Flynn, and our guest today, Seth Kuhn, rewriting your life story, creating the future you want. What kind of future do you want? Do you want a future where you lay in bed and you hit the snooze button, you don't get up and hit your goals? Or do you want a future where you roll over, get your ass out of bed, and attack those goals? Achieving the biggest things you want to achieve when you start your day here. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends here, getting things started with the morning loop. Hey, big show today. I remind you guys, this is an explicit show. So if you got children in the room, I know Seth's kids are still sleeping right now. Get those kids, put those headphones on or walk them out of the room, because we might just drop an F-bomb, an S-bomb, a B-bomb, some kind of bomb along the way, which might offend somebody. And hey, if you're offended, you got a choice. You can turn the channel. You can go somewhere else, or you can stick around, hang out with us, and have some fun and have a little bit of entertainment with the gang. From Mornings in the Lab with myself, Marty, and our good friend Jon Andersen. What is going on, team?
What's happening?
What up?
Good. What's going on, Kristina Flynn? Hello, we have Seth Kuhn here today. Hey, what did you guys think of my opener today? I pulled the joke out of the jar. Marty, I was thinking about you all night, man, when I was thinking about my joke, and I was thinking about you, Marty, and I'm thinking, oh, Marty's going to love my joke today. Christopher Martin, I know you're just like, you're waiting for a response, weren't you, pal?
I think I missed the joke.
Yeah.
I was going to say I'm going back in the mental theater right now, and I'm trying to find the joke. I must have missed it too, brother.
You did say Christopher Flynn, though.
You did, yeah.
Oh, did I say Christopher Flynn? Oh,
yeah. Was that the joke?
No, I guess the joke was
that was terrible.
All right.
Sucked.
So the boy here, Keith, has already wrecked the opening of the show here, but we do have a great guest joining us this morning. Seth Kuhn is joining us here this morning. He is going to be talking about rewriting your life story here with Seth Kuhn here. Dude's joining us from the Pacific Coast, just down the road from Johnny. John, you guys woke up in the middle of the night there. Here's the morning loop. Morning show here this morning. We got Enzo joining us here this morning as well. Good morning, Enzo. Good to have you here this morning. Big show. Listen, at the second hour, I got a massive announcement. Woo! The morning loop reloaded. In an hour, I got a big announcement. Jon and Marty don't even know about this announcement. And Tina kind of knows about the announcement. We got a big announcement coming up in an hour that you guys are all going to want to tune into. So I invite you to hang around for the morning loop. Reloaded coming up at 9 o'clock Eastern time.
You know, every time you say you got us to tell us something and you don't tell us, I'll be honest, it makes me have to crap. You know, it's that time in the morning where I've sometimes I may not have gotten everything out the way, and you say that, and it puts a little wiggle up in me, and I have to. It makes me want to go.
Marty,
Kristina, what is going on?
I'm speechless. So
I'm not sure what's going on right now. What are we doing here?
So we know that when my announcement comes up, John's going to the bidet. So that'll come up here. That'll come up here a little bit later this morning.
That's crazy.
When we have an announcement, but no, just all sneaking aside. I had a couple of meetings last night, and those meetings turned into opportunity. And the opportunity I'm going to share with you guys a little bit later this morning, which I'm really, really jacked and excited about, coming up here later today.
If it ain't, I don't want to hear it. No, I'm playing. I'm playing.
Well, that's it. It's the whole idea of something, an announcement or something is going to tell us that's an excitement. You know, sometimes you get excited, you feel like you got to take a piss. Well, I just took a piss right before I got here, but I didn't take a dump. That's where it comes from, Marty. Now you
Johnny,
understand.
you don't have to cover up. It's okay. Me and Tina don't get it. We're grossed out already.
Cover up about me talking about taking a dump right on live shit here. Where's the cover up in that, man?
You're trying to justify taking a dump at 5 in the morning. It's 5 in the morning over there. You think about taking a dump.
Oh, man, the first one was rolling out about 3:05, you know? Oh, my God. But let's be honest, there's no cover up. If you come out and talk about taking a dump, no matter what you say after that, there's no cover up.
I'm not gonna lie, man. 3 in the morning dump is crazy, man.
That's crazy.
That's insane. That's crazy. We're taking John to the doctor.
I wake up in the morning and then the body says, hey, it's time for a new one. Let's go. Let's get rid of the old. It's time for the new. And that's how the day starts.
That's the loop.
Oh, that's how the loop starts. Okay.
That's how the loop starts. That's right. You got to get rid of the old. You know?
So it's not the loop, it's the poop.
I guess you could say that's a good point, brother. The poop starts the loop.
There you go. Oh, there we go. That's what it is.
Oh, you're hanging out with Keith, John, Marty, and producer Kristina Flynn, and we're having a conversation that I know David Sowers and the friends from Royal Restrooms would love to be a part of, as we are hanging out talking about morning movements at 3:00 in the morning here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. And hey, we got to pause and look at all of our friends here hanging out in the feed. Good morning, good time. Well, yeah, I'll dance. I'll find some time to dance today. Thank you. And
Good time. Come on, man.
Yeah. I appreciate the words of encouragement. Good times joining us. Of course. Who else we got here? We got Enzo, of course. He was always joining us. Hey, Kristina, Enzo's going to join us in October. So, Enzo, we're gonna come knock on your door here on the LinkedIn feeds. They're here today. Going to put a calendar in your messages there for me and Kristina, and we're going to get you on the show for center stage or deep dive. And Kristina, Marty, John, we're going to use Enzo to bring the median age of our show down. Yeah, true story. So Seth, we want to have you on the show here, man. We absolutely want to have you on the show. So, hey, Marty dropped a video in my feed 2 days ago, and we were going to show it yesterday, but we didn't get around to it. And we're going to show it today. Tina doesn't know anything about it either, actually. So, Jimmy, we're going to throw this. We're going to throw the video on the screen.
Hey, Tina, he didn't shit on this one this time. He didn't shit on this video.
What am I approved of this one right now?
No, this is actually nothing crazy. It's actually nothing crazy.
I'm like, fuck.
Well, it's nothing crazy. But let's be honest. He approves of almost everything, so that's not saying much.
So
yeah, you got a point.
So this video. So it's funny though, Johnny, because Marty loves dropping videos with commentary. He's like, hey, Keith, just check his video, and this is how it's gonna go. This is gonna go with you. This is gonna go with John. This is gonna be in Flynn. I'm like, all right, that's pretty good actually. So Marty's got the whole script in his head about the whole thing. So
listen,
anyway,
I'm a man with vision, so that's how it goes.
You are a man with vision. So we're gonna run this video here, and then we're gonna take a break for we're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna come back with accountability check, and then we're gonna bring in our friend Seth Kuhn to talk center stage and get to know Seth a little bit here. But Jimmy, I got the video showing up on the horizontal feed here. I'm gonna throw up on the vertical feed here, and we're gonna run this video for I think it's about less than a minute, and then we're gonna comment on it. So let's do it, Jimmy. Let's do it. We're gonna put it up here on the screen here. Add to stage.
Saw, but Nike got a new CEO. Do you know where the Nike CEO started? The new Nike CEO, he started as an intern. And for 30 years, he's worked his way up, starting as an intern and is now the CEO. It's highly probable for anybody that is committed to that kind of development to eventually end up in a role like that if you do it long enough. And if you continue to gain skills on your own without being told to, without being pulled along, dude, you're infinitely valuable to somebody. And maybe there's not the opportunity at where you are, but where you'll get in the right spot someday and you will win 100%.
Marty,
dude.
So you saw that video, something moved you on it, and you're like, I got to share this with the team because I love where it comes from. Christopher Martin, what got you going when you saw that video, brother?
So we got Johnny here, who's like, look, I didn't get a job.
Nope.
I told myself I'm not getting a job ever.
Nope.
I'm going to start my own business and I'm going to succeed that way.
Nope.
But then we got Keith here on the other side who had a regular job where he met Maurice, and you had some other jobs before that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And you were, you developed your skills through working, regular 9-to-5s, becoming the manager at the cell phone place, right?
Yeah.
And you developed your skills there, and you moved that to business.
Yep.
So you're more like the guy at Nike, but Jon is the opposite of the guy at Nike. So I wanted to hear you guys go at it and talk about which one is better. But the point I wanted to make was basically like, it doesn't matter how you start, just get to it. As long as you get to it, that's all that matters.
Exactly right.
Well, this is good, man. This is good because I totally see what you're saying, Mark. But here's the thing: we got it looking at me. We got to take and we got to just go one layer deeper. What we're looking at that 10% of the iceberg you can see. What you're not seeing is that 90% that's underwater. And what I mean by that is my skill set has developed for first off, I got to say, the guy that did this for 30 years, beautiful, because most people can't even get a decade focused on one thing. Anyway, side note. So for me, I totally see where you're coming from, but my skill set that's been developing has been underwater. It's my problem solving skill set. It's my showing up skill set. It's all the basic shit that you can't see. And then when I take that shit, I apply it to something, boom, I get there real quick. Now, this guy, he developed his skill sets literally within Nike the whole time. I've been developing my skill sets as a problem solver, as an entrepreneur, as an athlete. So it was my development is still there. It just, you don't see it all in view, if that makes sense.
Yep, definitely makes sense.
Yeah, I like that, Johnny. And when I heard that story about that promotion too, and then I saw Marty's video, I like it because it teaches perseverance. It teaches that whole idea that if you keep your head down, you show up every single day, good things happen, right?
Well, and that's 100%. And the thing that people got to realize is that, it's the time that you're spending where nobody can see is the important shit.
Yes.
It's like when I popped up in my pro strongman, where'd this guy come from?
Yes.
He's been grinding it out for 20 years. You just couldn't see him. That's where he was.
And you know what, Johnny? I feel the same way about this show. Right, you're here, I'm here, Marty's here, Kristina's here. We're doing our thing. Seth's in the green waiting for us. We're quietly under the radar right now, doing our thing. Right, all the work is happening underneath the water, and some people can see the tip of the iceberg peeking out. This morning show, this morning the lab thing, and then Johnny, one day, people are like, "Holy fuck, where did you guys come from? You guys haven't seen us when we were sitting around and nobody showed up. You guys didn't see us when nobody was here banging it out days on days on days." Could you imagine, Johnny, that fellow, I can't recall his name, who became the CEO, but could you imagine those days like 20 years ago when he had no idea that his journey was going to end up being the boss of that company? Like, that's a pretty good story, isn't it?
30 years ago, for God's sake.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Christ almighty, it's an amazing story. And here's the thing, like going back to what we're doing here with this show, Keith, one of the things that, when we connected and I saw what was going on here, I recognized in you that you're totally used to grinding it out when no one can see. You're totally used to doing the shit that it takes to make sure that your momentum is going to be gathered or gained, so to speak, whether it's under the water or out where people can see it. I'm the same thing. I've from the beginning, I started grinding away on something that I knew was going to take a long time, and I stuck with it. And my rate of showing up stays 100%, just like yours. And that's what allows something like this to actually turn from, say, an airplane to a rocket ship.
You're absolutely right. And that's the theme here, man. That's the theme. It's the reason I knocked on Chris's door, CMartyFit's door, when Nicole and I got this thing started and we were making some changes. And I know there's one dude that I've been watching on Instagram. I've been watching on YouTube. He's got this show, the CMartyFit podcast. I've been, watching him from afar. And Johnny, the guy just kept showing up. I'm like, I got to knock on that guy's door because the guy just shows up relentlessly, day in and day out. And then I met Flynn and we talked was supposed to be a 30-minute conversation. Ended up being a couple hours. I'm like, wow, this person just keeps showing up too through our conversation. And then I'm watching our guest, Seth Kuhn, who we're bringing up here in 2 minutes. And that dude keeps showing up. You're like, man, I want to be surrounded by people that show up all the time. Because when you show up all the time, that's how magic happens, like the CEO of Nike. So Chris, Martin, Christopher, see Marty, thanks for sharing that with us, brother. Tina, quick comment from you before we move on with the accountability check-in. Just a quick one from you.
I love it. For me, it reminds me of my dad. My dad started as a stock boy at a liquor store here in Ontario. He worked his way up over 30 plus years. and is now on the board of that same company. So I love seeing those opportunities. I love seeing that. I need more of that in me. So I'm always lucky to be surrounded by people that are teaching me about patience and not trying to hit their home runs. But it's a beautiful thing, and you can learn transferable skills anywhere. It's just how you then actually put them into work.
Awesome. So here we go, guys. Keep at it. Get up out of bed this morning. Don't hit the snooze button and keep at it. Grind it, grind it, grind it. Good things will happen, just like good things are going to happen with Seth Kuhn coming up in 2 minutes. But before that, we're going to do this. All right. This is the accountability check-in. Johnny's going to get up for a break. Marty's getting up for a break. I have no idea what the hell Tina does during this time. Actually, I don't really know what she does. I think that she just kind of, who knows? Who actually knows what she does other than giving me the finger from the green room. So listen, life isn't fair. No, it's not fair when somebody's sitting across the glass in the green room giving you the finger. It's just not fair. But think about this. It's not fair, but it's not an excuse to sit on the sidelines. No, someone out there is chasing their big goals with less than you have. And I think we're going to hear about it coming up. They show up, they keep their head down, they push through even when it feels impossible. And while you're waiting for inspiration, perfect timing, or some other aha moment, they're just moving forward. That person just keeps going and going and going. And you're like, what the hell? Listen, we all have challenges. We all have obstacles. But how we respond, well, that's how it defines us. We're make excuses. We can make excuses or we can commit. But here's the thing, nation. The choice is up to you. You got to own your path. You got to prioritize your wellness. And you got to build the life you want, because you know what? No one controls the life that they're dealt. But we all control how we play. That is the accountability check-in today on Thursday, September 26th on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, Marty. I'm bringing up my friend Seth right now. To hell with all of them. They're not back yet. Seth, dude, how are you, pal? They're not back. I'm just going to hell with them, man. We're going to get this show going because I'm bringing my friend Seth Kuhn in. There's Seth. What's going on, brother? Jon and Marty, they're just doing their thing. How are you, pal? Good to have you here, man.
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm so excited to be here with you guys.
Yes. So Seth Kuhn is joining us from somewhere out west. So you set us up where you're geographically located, and I'm going to bring the rest in. So Seth, where are you joining us from, pal?
I'm kind of northern central California, but I'm up in the mountains.
Yes.
So you think where the Bay Area is? I'm due east in the cuts. So it's rural. It's up in the woods. We get snow. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So
my brother-in-law lives up there, kind of up by Yosemite.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful up there.
Yeah. So Seth is a front-end web developer with a twist. He's still working as a pest control technician. And I think, guys, I'm actually wrestling with my head here, whether we want to talk pest control and all the shit that he sees on a day-to-day basis, or all the fun that he does when he gets away from controlling pests and gets behind the keyboard. From Java to JavaScript, Seth has roasted over 100,000 pounds, Johnny, of coffee as a roast master before turning his focus to code. He's a family man first, coder by night. Between balancing 2 toddlers and his tech ambitions, Seth finds his coding time between 10 p.m. and midnight after the kids go to bed. I love that. You're like, okay, I got a window here. Here's when I'm going to do it. His big dream, and this is what Seth got on the show, you guys. This is how he got on the show. I watched a post on Seth put on LinkedIn one day. His big dream, he can see San Francisco from his home, a place he has dreamed of working from for years. So Marty, Jon, think about this, right? You're out there doing your day job. You're out there grinding it out. Jon, we talk about grinding, showing up. This guy shows up every single day because I watch it. He shows up every single day, and then during his day, he looks across out to the horizon, and he's like, I want to go over there. It's like you look into North Korea, or you look into any of those big journeys you've had, or Marty, you're like, I'm going to LA, I'm going there. Seth's like, I'm going that way. Right. So Seth, that's inspiring to me, man. Like when you go through your day and you stop and pause and look to the future, let's talk about leaning into what you look towards with your dreams. Seth Kuhn.
Man, it's you mentioned I have kids. That's such a big part of my identity, and they are your biggest superpower and your biggest liability when it comes to chasing dreams, because you have no risk tolerance anymore. But you want to do everything for them. So every day I'm working towards gaining the skills, building the abilities so that I can do something more than what I'm doing. I mean, it pays the bills, but that's it. and I'm not going anywhere, and I want to go somewhere. So yeah, I want my kids to have more than what I had. And I'm not even trying for, I don't need to be the 1%. I just want them to have what we need. You know, I don't need the best cars, the best houses. I want to reach for more. I know I can do more, so I'm going to do it.
I got goosebumps, Johnny.
Man, I love it. I mean, number one, the fact that you're recognizing that, hey, you know what? I have this setup that's taking care of it. That's basically paying for everything right now. But I'm going to take this time when they don't need me is really the key. They're sleeping, and I'm going to invest that time in developing another set of skills so I can create a better life. I just put out a video, and it was basically saying, and it went back to one of the lifestyle tips. Let your kids be a reason to grow, not an excuse to say the same. And a lot of people have commented like, oh, you don't want to spend time with your kids. No, dummy. It's not about taking time away from the time you're spending with them. It's about creating more time when you're doing shit that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm just assuming that you had a moment that was like the kick in the ass to make you feel that way. I'm gonna ask you about that, but I just wanted to say that, we need that moment, right? A lot of people back down from it and they get discouraged by it, but it's actually a blessing in disguise. And so what was that moment for you, and why was that the kick-ass moment for you that made you realize, hey, I need more, I want more?
Yeah, it was this, having kids is transformative. I mean, if you haven't gone through it, you probably know someone who has. And one of the biggest transformations for me was how I looked at time. I went from thinking I had free time to realizing that no time is free.
Oh my God.
You just choose how you spend it. So you can choose to spend it on yourself, but it's still being spent. And so I had all this time where I was just sitting on my butt watching TV. I really was. And then I had this kid, and I'm not watching TV anymore. All my time is gone. I'm living for this little human now. And I just realized I wanted to be putting my time into something that's productive, that's feeding me, I'm growing, and I felt better for it, and I liked it, and I chased that. And so, yeah, there's no free time. You just have time that you spend on yourself, whether you're growing or relaxing, but it's all being spent, and there's no refunds.
Yeah, Seth, you're getting some comments from the feed here as well. There, Seth, you got good time coming in with respect that man. It was Shakin' Jolie and Curtis. Good to have you here on the show this morning. I'll always love having you see in the feeds here. You definitely will. And what she's referring to, Seth, is you're talking about your dreams coming forward, and I agree with you, man. And then, as you know, Seth, we got our regular here, who's I know talked to you in the comments as well. Good time coming back with, when your side hustle turns into full time, it will be worth it. Jon Andersen, I saw you nodding as Seth was communicating, and you perk up when he said a couple of things. Jon, what did Seth say that moved you along when you talked about the value of time, Jon Andersen?
What was, that was time, and it just kind of parlayed into, how everything, when kids come about, it's like you're what you see just completely changes. It was like putting a turbocharger on what I was doing. It was like, holy shit, this is not just about me anymore. I need to make sure that, all of a sudden my drive went through the roof, because all of a sudden now I'm doing it my way, and this is not an easy path, and I better really bust my ass to make sure that I succeed on this non-traveled path, because that little one needs me. And I don't want the little ones, the first one, obviously, little one when I first became a dad, I don't want the little one to watch me doing shit that's not representative of being a good role model, being a person who's not chasing his dreams. I had to live in a way completely that demonstrated what I wanted her to basically have as a roadmap for her life. So I had to start pushing people out of my life. I had to stop doing dumb shit. I was already, traveling the world and kicking ass as a pro strongman, but now all of a sudden, whoa, I guess it really does matter if I do these little things here. Like at that point, I still drank a little bit. And I was, okay, gone. All of the shit that's not going to teach her how to do it right is gone. And that included people.
Yeah, we got Good Time coming in here with Good Time is what's to say here? Oh, it's raining out, but he got in trouble this morning. Good Time, that is awesome. And you know what? I want to continue to call this out because if you tune into the show regularly, we celebrate people who get up and get going in the morning. We celebrate those that do not hit the snooze button. And Good Time has been joining the show since day one and gets after it every single day. So Good Time, keep going after it. If it's raining,
I want to add, Good Time was on my show last night, cracking up, laughing. So I'm gonna take some credit for the motivation. But good job, Good Time.
That's exceptional. Hey, Kristina, there's the tip jar for my exceptional word there. I'm working on getting that word out of my dictionary. So we're going to move exactly and exceptional out of the word vocabulary for Keith here along the way.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. Hey, Seth, so you, hold on here. You roasted over 100,000 pounds of coffee as a roast master. Like, dude, not Toastmaster, a roast master. You know, I know Johnny loves his coffee. I love my coffee. Marty loves his coffee. Tina loves. We got a lot of people loving the coffee. We're the morning show. We're all about coffee. Dude, talk about roasting 100,000 pounds of coffee. What's that all about, brother?
Yeah, I mean, that was over the course of 2 years. You know, it's about 50,000 a year. And I got into that job right out of high school, like most people do, nepotism. My father was doing that.
Okay.
So he was the roast master, and it's a small business, and he's pretty much running it. And he's like, "I got a job for you." We didn't even talk about it. It's just I got in the car and went to work with him. You know, I was done with high school. A week later, going to work, and and he ended up getting cancer. And as he got sick, he trained me. So I stepped into his role and became the roast master, and it was awesome. You know, it's a fun blend of art and science. You got this 2-story tall machine that's you know, you're roasting the coffee in. The main drum isn't that big. It's about 90 pounds at a time. And you know, you've got seconds on these roasts where you got to make decisions, and 10-15 seconds and you have a completely different flavor. And so, you know, you got 90 pounds of coffee that you could completely ruin. So there's some pressure there, but it was also, you know, so thrilling when you drop the roast, you know, you did it right. And it was a pretty interesting job. And, you know, it's a nice claim to fame, 100,000 pounds of something. I moved that much coffee, you know, through that place. And it's a fascinating thing. And I'm going to get a sample roaster at some point and start up again just for myself.
I got to tell you, I spent some time down in Panama, and I went to a coffee plantation, and they showed me how they not only pick the coffee beans, but then make the coffee. Dude, I can't get over how laborious that whole process is to make coffee. Like we pour it down the drain like it's nothing, and we drink it like it's nothing, and we take it for granted. But it is not a cheap process to make a cup of coffee, Seth Kuhn.
Yeah, you know, I didn't deal a whole lot with anything before I got the beans, but I mean, there's something like 1,000% markup from the crop to the cup, you know. So there's a lot of work that goes into it, and the price reflects that from where it starts. Unfortunately, you know, there's a lot of controversy of what those pickers get paid.
Yes.
But you know, that was over a decade that I was doing that, roasting the coffee.
No kidding.
Yeah, but this is crazy, man, because I've been on this kind of a slow search for an answer about coffee because I love coffee. And all of a sudden the universe drops someone right in front of me that actually has some deep coffee knowledge. So first off, universe, thank you. So here's what I've been trying to figure out. Excuse me.
Marty, here goes. Get the recording on.
Let's get it. Let's do it.
I've heard, you know, and of course you hear lots of crazy shit, but what's actually real? And is it just people that don't know what they're talking about? Or is there some reality to this? I've heard a lot about coffee beans and mold and coffee beans and you know, chemicals and all sorts of stuff. Break that down. Is this a real thing, or is this just people talking smack because they got no idea what's going on with the guys like you who are actually getting the job done? If they're talking smack,
no, that's,
you know, you're on the right track.
Yeah, that's hard to figure out. How much is the hype cycle? How much is fear mongering to just get views? And how much is real? How much should you be paying attention to? the biggest issue I'd hear about is like decaffeinated coffee, and they talk about, you know, the chemicals that they use for it, and the chemicals they use when they do that are awful. I mean, if you were exposed to those, it would be a bad thing. But they also have like a boiling point that's below like human body temperature, where they that's how they get rid of them, is they evaporate them off. And so there's a bunch of points in the process where those would just be gone.
Okay, good to know.
And
what about mold?
That's, as far as the mold goes, man, I never noticed anything. I feel like you would taste that in an instant if there was mold in your coffee. And when you're roasting it, you're at 450 degrees. You're burning out everything. And you know, you think about mold toxins and all that, but I mean, you would taste that in a cup of coffee. That flavor profile is so delicate that I don't think you.
That was kind of what I was wondering, because it was one of these movements for like this certain, you know, mold-free, chemical-free coffee bean. I'm like, great marketing strategy, but is this really a problem? Or are people just going to buy into the fact that there's a problem and pay this elevated amount for coffee beans when there's really not a problem that's notable enough to even worry about? So it sounds like what you're saying is that it's really not an issue.
As far as I'm aware, you know,
okay.
And I'm speaking from the perspective of someone who is a small business. We got our beans in, we had them fresh roasted and sent them back out. And, you know, they weren't there for more than a month. Now that might be a very different thing for one of these huge conglomerate roasters. I don't know what their inventory process is like.
All right, coming up, we're talking coffee with Seth and Jon here, but we're going to segue the conversation to our CMartyFit tip. Exactly. Sorry, Seth, cutting you off, keeping you on time here. Marty, we're going to get you coming up here with the CMartyFit tip.
Let's rock, man.
We got something for a nation. We got good time walking. We got people tuning in going, where's Marty? We want to hear Marty talk, give us some physical fitness advice before we bring the lifestyle tip in with Jon coming up in a few moments. So Marty, you're on stage, brother. Johnny's got to go to the restroom.
What's new? It's now I'm playing. All right, we got the fitness tip for today, man. If it's your first time watching, I drop a fitness tip on this show every day at 8:30 Eastern, all right? So look, we're going to talk about 3 dangerous exercises for beginners and what to do instead, all right? First one, behind the neck shoulder press. Why is this dangerous, okay? This is going to put unnecessary strain on your shoulders, all right? And when you do this exercise, it even feels uncomfortable. This is going to increase your risk of injury. What can you do instead? You can do a dumbbell shoulder press, okay, in front of your head, not behind you. You want to do it in front of you. This is going to engage the same muscles without putting that strain on your shoulders in a vulnerable position and less risk for injury, okay? Next one, straight leg deadlifts. When you're performing the deadlift, we talk about deadlifts a lot on here, okay? You need to have a slight bend on your knee. You don't want to put all of that pressure on your lower back or around your lower back, okay? This can cause some serious back injuries. It's not going to engage the hamstrings, and you're not going to get that full benefit from the deadlift. So go for the Romanian deadlift. Focus on keeping your spine neutral, slight bend to your knee, all right? And that's going to avoid putting excess strain on your lower back. And the last one, this is going to be super controversial. Me and Johnny talked about it a week or two ago. But deep squats, a lot of people like to call them ass to grass. Now, if you have the mobility for that, do your thing, okay? If you're a power lifter, do your thing. But this is not for everyone. Going too deep can put strain on your knees and hips, especially if you lack the mobility. If you have limited mobility, like myself in some cases, which I've been working on, right? You need to try to get 90 degrees or go somewhere around that range. Just engage the leg muscles, okay? And if you struggle doing that, start with box squats, okay? This is going to help control your depth, and it's going to strengthen your squat form without risking your joints, and it's going to teach you proper form. So those are 3 moves. Again, real quick, those are behind the neck shoulder press, straight leg deadlifts, and deep squats. Be careful with those. There are better ways. There are modified ways. That's the fitness tip for today.
And there's the fit tip of the day with CMartyFit. Christopher Martin every single day at 8:30 Eastern time. Chris, I'm a big fan of the box squat, man. I love box squats. Big
They're good.
Yeah, they are. Good. Yeah, great advice there. Coming back with Jon and Seth Kuhn and Mr. V. What is this channel about? This is the only morning show, Mr. V, that helps you get your day started, that helps you get up, not hit the snooze button, and hit those most audacious goals. What do? We help you be accountable. Myself, Jon, Marty, and guests like Seth Kuhn, who have big ambitions like rewriting a life story, chasing dreams, embracing endurance, learning how to live a life that helps you hit the big goals you want here on Mornings in the Lab. I invite you to subscribe, like, comment on the channel, welcome us into your world to help you get through everything that you want to achieve. All right, listen, we're bringing back Seth Kuhn here. We're talking escaping the good enough trap. Seth's joining us here this morning from the Pacific Coast here. And Seth, 74% of people feel trapped in a good enough job, but are afraid to make a change. That comes courtesy of Harris polls. Seth, you're literally you get up every single day and you kill bugs for a living. And then at nights you go home and get in front of the computer. The kids go to bed and you kill bugs on the computer. So how do you find the mental strength, my friend? You go and you get up and you do the morning show with us. You get in your day job. You go grind it. You come home. You be an exceptional father to the children, and then you got to find the fortitude to sit down and work on the dream. Seth, let's lean into working on the dream, and how do you get there with 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, and how do you keep yourself going knowing that it's not happening overnight? Seth Kuhn.
Yeah, it's not easy. It helps that what I'm going for is something I really enjoy doing. You know, I work at getting everything, my responsibilities done first. You got to do your work first, and then you get to have your fun. And this side hustle is my fun. You know, learning to write code, that's my fun. I don't know if I could put that much effort into something I don't like. That would be a drag. But Jon's been saying it, you know, if it's something you like, you'll put that out, you'll find that hour every day. And I listen to the show, and I appreciate you guys so much for the things that you say, because it helps me keep going, do that. So yeah, it's just having that side hustle you like. Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Oh, yeah. Cut me loose, baby. Cut me loose. Jesus Christ. For everybody that's fucking listening, God damn it. This is exactly what we've been talking about all this time. Jesus Christ. If you find something you want to do, once you put your kids to bed, you're not going to want to watch TV. Who gives a shit who wins Dancing of the Goddamn Stars? Invest your time in developing a skill set. That's going to pay you in so many ways.
So I got Dancing with the Stars is on. Sorry, see you guys later.
Dancing with the Stars, you know what that's going to do? That's going to make you want to eat some shit you're not supposed to want to be eating, because the commercials are designed to get you off the couch, go to the cupboard, and do something you're not supposed to do. Anyway, side note. Bottom line is, Seth, God damn it, you are the model, like the working model of what we've been talking about this whole goddamn time.
Marty.
Absolutely, Jon. Well said, Jon. But I'm just going to add, you know, you're going to find time, and that's one excuse a lot of people use, you know, especially with fitness. Obviously, me and Jon come from fitness, but I don't have time. But when you break it down, right? You got time to watch Dancing with the Stars. You got time to watch NFL Sunday. You got time for all the leisure, you know. Why not find the time for productive things that are going to pay you in the future, or, you know, have some type of benefit for you in the future? So absolutely agree with that.
Let me just jump in real quick, bro. I so agree with what you're saying. I mean, here's the thing. I love to watch football, but I so rarely do it because it's a few notches down on my totem pole from the shit that I do every day that I really want to do. So it's not that I don't like doing certain things. They're just not in the order of my totem pole presents something better for me to do that I want to do that actually brings me value to my life. And that's really the key. Are you investing your time in something that's going to bring value to your life?
And that's how I am with basketball. But it's like every time I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, I know I could be doing something better right now, you know, because, you know, you check your bank account, check your client status, check your client's results, check my podcast. There's something I can be doing right now, and basketball, brother, it ain't helping it. It ain't helping.
I love because I'm the same way, bro. I don't want to watch someone else live their dream. I want to work on, you know, getting better at my dream.
Exactly.
Seth, did it take having kids for you to get up one day and look in the mirror or look across the bay and go, I guess now it's time to recognize that it's time to pick my socks up? Or had you always had the desire to get over there? Like, was there always the dream to get over there, or was the kids the impetus to make that step to get over there? Seth Kuhn.
Definitely the kids. Yeah. I mean, before that, I was complacent. I was just sitting there comfortable. I was comfortable and I wasn't moving. And those kids, I wish I had realized this before then, because I had so much time to chase dreams before kids compared to now. But yeah, they were the kick in the pants, the realization, the change of worldview that got me moving. And they take up the biggest chunk of my time. That I could be putting towards goals, but right now they're at an age you can't miss time with them now.
Yeah,
they don't recognize why you're not with them.
Yeah,
they just know you're not.
How old, if you don't mind us asking?
Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
How old, if you don't mind us asking?
My son's 4.5 and my daughter's 2.5.
Oh my God, those are amazing ages, man. Especially you get to that point where all of a sudden they become little people. Like you have these little mini conversations. Like, holy shit, we're not just sitting here having sushi and I'm trying to keep the fish on your plate. We're actually having a conversation as we eat this sushi. This is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. We got Rick Klick to join us, and Rick is a regular on the show here. Rick, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining us every single day here. And Rick says the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And let's just say that again, because it's a cliche, but it's so true, right? The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Love this. Becoming a person of value, right? Seth's like, that's my main thing. I got everything I got around the peripherals, but I'm focusing on that. And the moment those kids came into his life, he's like, all right, it's time to lift up my socks and go after it. Shay Boogie comes in and says, yeah, the hard part, work-life balance is almost like it's hard to get. Talk a little bit about, Seth, work-life balance, because I know that I don't believe in it. Johnny doesn't believe in it. Marty doesn't believe in it. Kristina doesn't believe in it. No such thing as work-life balance. It's about pulling levers and moving things along the way. Seth, how do you balance everything? And then secondly to that question, talk about the power of your partner and how she helps you achieve what you're looking to achieve for your family. Seth.
Yeah. Wow. Balance. There isn't. I'm just putting out fires however I can, and things change in priority. And there have been lots of days where I want to get the code. I want to learn something. And it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm just barely getting things done because of how the day went. And I'm done. I don't have the mental energy for that. And I can't that night. And that's how I see it. I can't. I just don't get to. So there's not really balance there. It's just doing the best you can every day. And then there's tomorrow and you do your best that day. And I feel like I've wandered off of the point. So was there more?
You're good. You're good.
No, you're crushing the point, brother. You're crushing the point. 100%.
The power of your wife. Marty, coming to you next. The power of your wife, Seth.
You guys talked about how you can't do things alone.
Yes.
Man, there's no way.
Yep.
She is amazing. Just this incredible person. She's made me a better person. And I know I've helped her in some ways too. And that's a beautiful relationship right there when you make each other better. And, she's a support, just solid. She's understanding, empathetic, bright, happy, beautiful, all the things you need in your life to make you reach for more. She's also the dreamer. So it's up to me to make her dreams come true. So that's another motivation there.
Well, dude, check this out. Marty.
I was just going to make a comment about balance. I won't go on a tangent, but it's funny how everybody thinks about balance when it's time to work, when it's time to be productive. But when you was BSing, nobody was thinking about balance at all. Like, oh, let me do some work too. But now it's time to work, and it's like, oh, I need some BS. I need some leisure time in my life. That's just hilarious to me. So I just wanted to add that in there.
That's it, Johnny.
Well, I mean, you don't need to balance something that you want to do. Like I love this whole thing. You want to escape from your life? Well, maybe you should, instead of investing the time and energy into that vacation, maybe you should invest that time and energy into making a life you don't want to escape. So the whole thing of balance, well, what are you trying to balance? Because you don't really have to balance the shit you want to do.
Yeah, it's true. You don't have to balance the shit you don't want to do. And Seth gets up every single day chasing what he wants to do. He puts the time in Monday to Friday, 40 hours a week. And then as the kids work their way out, going to sleep, he's working on everything else. Seth, before we go to the lifestyle check-in with Jon Andersen here in a minute or two, talk about doing it all and setting it up for failure. Do you sometimes in your private moments say, fuck, what am I doing? What am I doing? Or are you, and be honest here, or because I think we all have those questions. Or when you ask that question, you pause, you reflect, you turn our show on and you're like, I know what I'm doing, and you go. But talk about those moments where you actually ask yourself, what the hell am I doing? And how do I find the courage to keep going?
Yeah, I have lots of moments where I look at my situation and think, there's people spending all day. They're going to college. They're devoting so much more time to this goal, and they're not getting there. And I look at myself, what kind of hubris would it take to think I can spend a fraction of the time and make the same goal? And a lot of times I struggle to believe that I can. I don't believe that I can. And I keep going anyways, because that's the only way to find the opening, the opportunity, the possibility where you make it happen. And so I'm just going to keep plugging along, keep going one step at a time, and look for that opening and then jump on it, and that's the only way to make it happen. You just got to keep going.
And I love that, because if you don't have that feeling, if you don't have that little uncomfortable thing in your gut, if you don't have those questions, can I do it? You're in the wrong place. If you're comfortable, you're doing it all wrong. So that's money, brother. That's exactly what's supposed to be happening when you're climbing a mountain. There's always going to be that place where like, holy shit, this is steep. Can I do it? Well, I'm going to find out. And you keep going. So what you just described is a barometer that tells you you're on the right path, brother.
Yeah. Marty?
No, absolutely. I agree with Jon 100%. Let's get to the lifestyle tip.
Let's get to the lifestyle tip because we got Jimmy knocking on our door. Going,
I know Jimmy's going crazy back there.
Got to get this going. And it sounds just like Seth's like, wait a minute, I can see the time. Seth's part of our show all the time. Seth pays attention behind the scenes, so Seth could produce the show with us. Actually, good times like, yes, keep going, Seth. Exactly, Johnny, you're up, brother. Give something for our nation to think about. Give Seth something to think about. Let's get to the lifestyle tip with Jon Andersen.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Well, I think we can all agree we live in a fast-paced, high anxiety, stressful world nowadays with everything that goes on. And here's the deal. We all face stress. We all face anxiety. And if we can learn to manage our stress and anxiety, we can also learn to manage the quality of our lives, the quality of our day. So here's the deal. Take a piece of paper and write out the top, I'm going to say 5 or 10, whatever works in your world, things that stress you out. And then once you've got that list written out, look at that list and think to yourself, how many of these things have actually happened? Because most of what we stress out about, most of the things that we have anxiety about, only live in our minds. They never come to reality. They never turn real, which means we're spending the majority of our stress on shit that never even happens. So I know that life gets heavy, and sometimes you think, you know what, this is just so bad, I don't know if I'm going to make it. So this is where you got to remind yourself. If you're listening to this message, you have a 100% survival rate. And you'll do it again tomorrow. The sun will come up tomorrow and you are going to be okay. So make that list, register what it is that's actually not happening in terms of your anxiety. Push that stuff aside and remember, you're going to be okay. You made it through it before, you'll make it through it again. Rock and roll.
Temporary, as Jon Andersen says, but the mission is absolute here. Joining us mornings and live with Keith, Jon Andersen, CMartyFit. Mornings in the lab here, 8 o'clock Eastern time, every single day, Monday to Friday. We're going to come back with a protein break. Good morning, good time here. Thanks for the comments here as well. Seth, Marty, let's rock and roll with what's up next here. And Johnny, Seth has a career, has a job right now, spends a lot of time away from home and out and about, hanging out with his customers. And we have a lot of people listening to our show that don't work from home or have to go to an office or are mobile and out and about. And the biggest thing that we struggle with, John, is eating. Like, where do we get our food? The protein break is about food. It's about nutrition. It's about fueling our body to move forward. But it's about making good choices. It's about stacking habits. It's not about tuning into Five Guys all the time. It's not about driving into Wake Back Burger. It's not about buying a dozen cookies from Crumbles Cookies. Oh my God, I love Crumbles Cookies.
But you watch my show too much, Keith.
I know, Marty. It's all about.
Man, I've never even been inside of Crumbles Cookies. You guys got problems.
It's all about ordering disorders or eating disorders, as Marty likes to call them. So John, here's my goal. Over the next 7 minutes, let's give Seth and those that are working remotely and out and about all the time, let's give them some actionable tips, what they can put in their pocket, what they can eat throughout the day so they're not going to Five Guys or Crumbles. If you guys want to sponsor us, go to a different show. We want to help these guys put good food in their body throughout the day. Let's start with you, Johnny. What should they be doing to fuel their body throughout the day, Johnny?
Well, first off, let's start off with the idea that people say, I don't have time to get this stuff prepared. Well, if you take the little bit of time you have to prepare this the night before, and you compare that to going to fetch your food, going to find food on the fly, the comparison is not even close. You will save yourself so much time. So let's take that whole argument and throw it out the window right now. So the 5 minutes is all it's going to take the night before. All you got to do is make sure that you've located some almonds. You've located, some sort of protein. I just literally take this shit and put it in a bag. You've seen the videos. I put burger in a bag. I put breast in a bag. I put ground meat in a bag. And I put that bag in my pocket. And usually I'm going to have food in both my pockets. So when I'm hungry, all I got to do is pull it out of my pocket. Don't put it in your glove box. Don't put it in your desk, because you may not be next to those places where you stash the food. Rarely are you going to get separated from your pants. So put the food in your pocket, save yourself a ton of time. You'll have more energy, more focus, and you're going to live a better life.
That's Marty.
Great tips, Johnny. What I would say is, if you can, a lot of people have microwaves at work. Just bring your food in some Tupperware. I think if you prepare your meals like on a Sunday, and then you just portion it out however you want to, 4 ounces, 6 ounces, if you weigh your food. I would say that's another option as well. If you don't want to put burger in a bag and put it in your pocket like Johnny, totally understandable. But there's still a way to do it. And then to piggyback off of what Johnny said when he was talking about time, not only is it taking a lot of time to go fetch the food, but if you think about actually sitting in the drive-thru, right? Because I'm telling you, the Chick-fil-A drive-thru is bumping every evening. It's ridiculous around my neighborhood. So I know people in there for 20, 30 minutes. I mean, you can definitely prepare a couple of meals in that time. So just think about that next time you say you don't have time to prepare your food.
I got to just say one quick thing about food in a bag, because food in a bag requires one hand. Let me give a perfect example. I was golfing a week or so back.
Do we need Rich Ingram on the show?
And that's a good one. Yeah. See, Rich would understand. So basically, I'm golfing, and I got just a fat, juicy cigar, right? And all of a sudden I realized, holy shit, I got to eat. Well, guess what? If I needed 2 hands, I'd have had to put that cigar down. So what did I do? I whipped a burger in a bag out of my pocket. I got the cigar in one hand. I got the burger in the other hand. I was set. See, if you're in those positions where you need both your hands to do what you're doing, like I was that day, because I'm not putting that cigar down. I'll tell you right now. See, the food in a bag is going to really solve some problems for you if you're on the go.
Oh my God, Seth, you're the guest on the show here today. I would love to know what's going on. And I know you listen to the show on a regular basis. I would love to know what's going on in your head right now, Seth Kuhn.
I feel like The limitation is if you're smoking cigars. I don't relate to that, so I should always have two hands, personally.
What if you're driving? What if you're driving, Seth? What if you're driving?
Yeah, there you go. I think that's a much more relatable example for the.
Well, I mean, I was just talking about my personal problem. Granted, my personal problem got to do with cigar, not driving. But I don't really drive much. Usually I'm in a vehicle and I'm not driving because I'm staying busy.
So hold on. Can I just step in for a second here, Marty? We've been doing this for a while together. Can we just be clear? I just want to make sure we're clear on this, Marty. So we've invited a good friend on the show now, our friend Jon Andersen, who's now a host. Marty, he eats eggs with the shell on, like just full crunch and eggs. Seth, can you listen too? He puts burgers in a bag, meat in a bag, ground beef in a bag, breasts in a bag. Dude, you want to stack habits, you got to hang out with Jon Andersen, man, because the guy's got stuff in his pockets. He's got anything you need. He's like 7-Eleven on 2 feet, I think.
Here's the thing. Most people, I hate to say it, but even you guys, you're my co-hosts.
Yes.
You just let too many things get in the way.
Yes, I know we do.
It's like, I got point A right here, and I got point B right here. I'm going to get there in as straight a line as possible, and if I can do it in whatever means possible, in terms, including eating out of a bag, I'm going to do it.
We got A.R.M. here and that says, what? Put your food in a pocket? Seth, this is for you. If my boss sees me cleaning, working, and a bag of hamburger falls out, I don't know how to react.
Hold on. What kind of pockets you got if a damn bag of burger is falling through your pocket onto the floor, brother? You need a new pair of drawers.
And then, Seth, I'm wondering, if you go on site, and I know you get rid of bugs and insects for a living, what would that be like if you're on site and all of a sudden you kind of lean over and there's just a bunch of food in your pocket, Seth?
Well, most of the time I'm on my own. No one wants to be around you when you're spraying pesticide, but I also don't want my food around me when I'm doing that either. So I always have my truck with me. If I don't have my truck with me while I'm working, I got a problem, as much of a problem as if I don't have my drawers. So I'm going to keep it in the truck, John.
Well, in your case, that works perfectly, brother, because obviously you're never going to get too far away from your truck because you're going location to location. But I'll tell you, your hands, you may not have been able to clean your hands all the way. You got to drive to the next job. Guess what? You got a breast in a bag. Your hands are filthy. You bite the corner off of that thing and you start basically pulling that breast out and chewing it down on the way to the next job. Look at the time you saved. You've basically taken a process and you've distilled it. You've distilled eating down to the simplest form where you can continue to kick ass, take names, and do what you got to do.
So I'm going to bring producer Kristina Flynn on the show, the female on the show, and the mother who has children. And I'm going to address our guest here, ARM, here as well, who says, I'm a woman. Men's pant pockets are better for sure. Yes, ARM or ARM. I invite you to subscribe to the channel. This is the kind of conversation we bring every single day here at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Content to get you going and content to help you be accountable. Kristina, as you're listening to meal prep advice, courtesy of Jon Andersen, carry food in the bag. What are you thinking about is going through your head as you're hearing this wonderful advice offering to Business Athlete Nation today?
I think that person has a point. Women's jeans, much more difficult to just put a chicken breast in my pocket and pull it out. The second is...
But real quick, just dive into what Terry does for me. If I have to hand her my bag of food, she's got the same set of problems. So sometimes she'll tuck it into the bra. Just lightly tuck.
I don't have that. It'll just fall right through. I won't have anything to keep it together. So another problem.
What is going on, man?
Next, the plastic bag with the food in it is on your body. So doesn't it get really hot? And if it gets hot, then you have
that's your microwave. That's your natural warming device.
But you don't want those. You wouldn't put a plastic bag in a microwave because it would get the toxin.
Well, I'm not saying to put it in a microwave. I'm saying put it in your pocket, which acts as a natural microwave.
I know, but it's gonna get the toxins from the bag into your chicken breast.
Okay, if we're worried about toxins coming out of a plastic bag, let's go into a long list of shit that we do every day. We get polluted with toxins. If we're going to start arguing about toxins out of a plastic bag,
you
you
could
put
just
it.
say, I choose that. I choose that. That's
Well, I
the
was
one
going to say
it's
the whole argument. If we're going to argue this one, then we got to break open. I mean, are we going to stop breathing because our with a bunch of shit not supposed to be in us too?
Marty,
I have struck a nerve, folks. I have struck a nerve.
Marty, can you help me? What's Lauren having to say? Let's just bring some logic to the table, Marty. What's Lauren having to say?
Lauren said, or use a lunch kit. That's why I said, just put your stuff in some Tupperware. You know, most offices have a microwave nowadays. Use the microwave.
We didn't want to talk about microwave. Microwave is polluting the food more than the plastic bag.
You just said choose your toxin. You just said that.
But I'm just telling you to choose it. I'm just letting you know that microwave is. Check this out. There was a study, right? So 2 plants, same windowsill, right? Same exact plant. They were both watered the same time with the same temperature water. The difference was one of the water was put in the microwave, boiled, brought back to room temperature. They were both watered. Now one of them has been microwaved. The one that had the water that was microwaved died.
Well, call me microwave Marty, because my brain cells must be all right, because y'all got me on this show and I used the microwave faithfully. So I turned out all right.
Yeah, I use a microwave realistically if I'm like kind of fringing, like if I'm gonna put a little cheese on something, I'm stepping just outside my, if I'm doing something that's a little bit off course, I'll put it in the microwave because I'm already going outside the line. I might as well go a little further with the microwave.
All right, I'm bringing this back to center table here, guys. You're here with Keith, John, Marty, producer Kristina Flynn, and
because this was about to get off track. So take over, Keith.
We're talking microwaves. We're talking food. We're talking putting food in. We got Flynn on the screen because we're gonna do a personal brand bite with Kristina Flynn. We're gonna come back in about 90 seconds, 2 minutes, and we're gonna keep the conversation going. I got something to throw. Seth, can you hang around this?
Yeah.
Awesome. Top 4 complaints wives have about their husbands, and Kristina, top 4 complaints wives have about their wives. Hang around for this one. So why don't you stick around to do the personal brand bite? Marty's gonna go for a break. Seth's going to go for a break. Johnny's going to go to the bidet. I'm going to hang out here. I'm going to come back in 90 seconds. You're going to do a personal brand bite with Kristina Flynn.
I can't even dance today. This is all so fucked up. All right. You hear me talk about it all the time, storytelling. But why do I care so much about storytelling? I care because it actually hacks your audience's brain. So let's get real for a second. How many of us actually introduce ourselves by saying what we do? We talk about titles, credentials, accomplishments. We've all done it. But here's the thing. That's not who you are. It's what you do. And so without the stories behind those titles, I can promise you nobody on the other side of it is going to trust you. Would you trust you? Here's why. So when you throw out facts and figures, you are lighting up in your audience 2 parts of their brain, processing and comprehension. It's just data. But when you tell a story, you actually light up 6+ areas of their brain. So yes, they're comprehending. Yes, they're processing, but also they're emoting. They're feeling, they're recalling memories. All of a sudden, you're creating a much deeper experience. Your story literally becomes their experience. They can feel it. It's a concept called neurocoupling. So here's how you can use that to better tell your story. You want to lead with who you are. People don't care about your titles. I don't care about anyone's titles. I know you don't care about people's titles. They care about why you do what you do. And your story gives them the real you. And that's what people connect with. Second, you got to prove things with your story. I could tell you I'm a PhD in neuroscience. I'm not. But I could tell you that. I could put it on my LinkedIn profile, but I'm not. You have to prove what you say. You need to back it up. So you can rattle off all these accomplishments, but without your story proving it, without your story backing it up, it's just noise. You need to have proof that your actions actually reflect the words that you use. And that's where trust lives. So next time you're tempted, it's going to take a little practice, I promise. But next time you're tempted to lead with a job title or a role, just please fucking don't. Okay? Lead with your story. Engage their brain, build trust, prove to them that you're the real deal. And what you're saying is not just what you're saying, it's why you're saying it. It's a much bigger concept for them to get behind. And it's going to get them to connect with you more. It's really that simple. I have entered my no fucks era. And if you do this step, I promise you, you'll be that much closer to entering yours. You got this.
Our personal brand bite drops every single day, 9 o'clock Eastern time. As Kristina's entering the no fucks era, it's true. Yeah, you join the show, you're going to have the confidence to enter your own no fucks era here on Mornings in a Live with Keith, Jon, Marty, and our guest, Seth Kuhn, joining us here this morning. And hey, it is now time for this part of the show where I'm trying to find my buttons, and I'm going to get this part going. Nope, this one right here. Yep. Morning Loop Reloaded with the Highline Pipes. I know Seth loves this. I know that Seth. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The Morning Loop Reloaded with the Highline Pipes, bringing us in here 9 o'clock Eastern time. The second hour begins. And I said the last hour that I had a big announcement today. I have a big announcement today, and I'm going to make it right now. So have your ears perk up with what I'm going to say next. Starting next week, Nation, this show is moving to 2 hours. Yes, you heard it correctly. John's like, what? What do you mean 2 hours? I got to go for a crap in the second hour at a certain time? Yes. Marty's like, what are you talking about? Starting next week, we are going 2 hours, Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, Kristina Flynn, and not Seth Kuhn, but we will have a good time. Good time will be here every single day. We'll have Seth tuning in as well along the way. But guys, for the second hour, here's what's happening. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we are bringing in Jory Jansen and her team. We have an official nutritionist joining the lab. So while we have all this great advice from Johnny bringing it to the table, we now have we also have a registered nutritionist joining the lab here Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the protein break, which will drop tips and tricks and advice to help you guys hit those nutrition goals. Then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, our friend AJ Zeglin, the mental psychotherapist, is joining us to help us take the mind to achieve those big ass goals. So next week, Mornings in the Lab goes from 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time until 10 o'clock with 2 hours of awesome content, adding in 2 additional segments. And then the final one from 8:45 till 9 o'clock, Keith and Kristina are going to sit down with business and brand. Going to help you guys with your business, going to help you guys with your brand, and help you guys achieve those big ass goals. So next week, Mornings in the Lab goes to 2 hours starting on Monday, going into the last quarter of the year. And stay tuned for a lot of other exceptional things happening. We got the League of Business Athletes launching here in a couple of weeks, a place for you guys. Listen, gentlemen, one of you guys might be rolling over this morning, waking up going, I don't like how I look. You look in the mirror, you're not liking how you're feeling. You're looking at your career, you're not liking what your career is looking like. You're looking at your wife, and your wife's like, I'm really not interested in you anymore, huh, mister? I don't know. So listen, you might want to come hang out with us here in the lab to help you become a business athlete, because that's what we do here in the lab. We build business athletes. So coming up, stay tuned to our content. More coming along the way, but next week, 2 hours. 2 hours here in the lab here. But hey, we are going to, we got coming up in 5 minutes. We're going to do In the Gym with Jon and Marty. We're going to continue the conversation yesterday where Jon spent some time in North Korea, and talked about how he stayed fit along the way. But guys, I want to quickly dive into a quick topic for all of us here around top 4 complaints wives have about their husbands in therapy, according to experts. I got 4 of them. And Seth, I want to keep you around because I know you've talked about how awesomely exceptional. Oh, there we go, Tina. Your wife has been, Seth, at keeping your journey on track. Number 1, our marriage is stale and dull. Jon Andersen, looking at you first, pal, because I know you are a big proponent of keeping the energy high with Terry. Number 1 complaint is our marriage is stale and dull from wives talking to their husbands. Jon Andersen, give our boys a tip to get them through the day today, Johnny.
Let me on this one. First off, what you got to do is you've got to look at your relationship, the excitement, intentionally. You've got to think, what can I do to keep this shit spicy, excuse my language, as a motherfucker? Terry, my wife, has told me point blank that I have given her more firsts than the rest of her life put together. And if you think about that, when you're a child, you go through a lot of firsts, because I look at, okay, hey, how can we do this and do this in a way that is going to be exciting? It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be enchanting. It's going to be romantic. And you have to be intentional about this shit. Don't just wake up and wander through your life, including your relationship.
Yes. Kristina, our marriage is stale and dull. What are you saying to that, my friend?
It's so easy to get there. And it's so hard to think that you will get there when you're in those early stages where you don't have kids. It happens overnight. And all of a sudden you're playing catch up and you're going, how the fuck did we get here? Versus actually what Jon is saying, being intentional about the fact that if you ignore it, it's a guarantee. It's going to
guarantee.
Shit's going to get bad. And I say that from personal experience. I had that talk, and most of us have had that talk with my wife. Sat me down, was like, the fuck are we doing? Why are we living like this? I don't want to live like this anymore. And you realize how bad it is, and then you're playing catch up. So be intentional, like Jon said. Know that if you're not, it's a guarantee it's going to happen. Try to get in front of it before it does.
Yeah. Seth, our intimate life doesn't satisfy my needs and desires. Hey, Seth, that's a good soundbite. It's going to show up on LinkedIn today. Hey, Seth, our intimate life doesn't satisfy my needs and desires. The most common reason that keeps married women unhappy is incompatibility. Their husband doesn't understand, and in most intimate situations, doesn't care for their pleasure. Seth, let's talk about the intimate life and how we can focus on keeping our wives happy when their needs and desires aren't being fulfilled. Seth Kuhn.
Okay. The thing that comes to mind is love is not selfish. And that's in the whole relationship. And that includes the bedroom. You know, you can't be selfish there either. So yeah, you got to be thinking about the other person, and it's a beautiful thing when you do, and when they do, and you're a couple and you're together and you're not selfish.
Yes,
it's wonderful.
Yes. Who wants to take this one? I feel ignored by my husband.
Oh man, goodness gracious. As if you haven't watched the show and you're just hearing it now, I have what I call Terry time in my schedule. That's when, okay, I shift gears. My focus is to her. And a lot of times I'm just going to say, hey, do you make your pick. I'm going to put some activities in front of you. You want to walk back to the lake and relax and read? Do you want to get on the motor on the dirt bikes and go to the track? Or do you want to go to the bedroom and get down? Take your pick. Give her some choices. Let her make the choice, and maybe she might say, you know what, I want to do that. Perfect. But the fact that it's Terry time, and I've got a couple of options ready and waiting for her, just that alone will make such a big difference.
Yeah. Seth.
Oh man, I don't know if I have anything for this. I'm trying to think.
It's clearly you're not. She's not feeling ignored by you, which perhaps is a positive thing in your life. Right.
Well, yeah. There's little ways you can show them that you're thinking about them. A little "I love you" text.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be ornate, but I was at work and I thought about her, and I said, and there have been times I'm at work and I'm going by a bunch of wildflowers. I stop, I pick them. I tuck them into a water bottle and I bring them home. And
that's massive, brother. Massive.
It doesn't have to be huge.
I love
that.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So last one but not least, my husband doesn't know me. One of the comments here was, in my 30 plus years of relationship therapy, the biggest complaint that this therapist said was the husband has lost track of who the wife is. They don't know their wife, does not know their partner. Marty, going to look at you, pal. I know that you're not in a long-term 20, 30, 40-year relationship right now, but talk about that comment of not knowing somebody over time and just like you're just losing track of who they are and what they're all about and just having complete interest as life goes on. How do you think we get ahead of that, Chris?
Sorry, I was laughing at Brown Baldy's comment down there.
Yes.
It's pretty funny. But anyway, I think that it's easy to get caught up because a lot of this stuff even applies to me, even though I'm not married.
Yes.
I've heard some of these complaints, but I think it's easy to get caught up, especially business guys. It's easy to get caught up when things aren't going our way, when it's difficult at work. And we kind of just forget. We just feel like our partner's always going to be there, or they're not going anywhere.
Yes.
And so it's easy to ignore them and not cater to their needs, not cater to their wants. So I think it's a big issue. I know I've had my issues with it, and that's why I can understand and relate to this. So definitely, I think it's just life just taking us away from our partner. And we got to realize what's important. I think it was you that brought up the example of the guy on his deathbed saying the social fitness was most important. So that part, your partner is part of your social fitness, So
absolutely. So we're coming up here at the 50-minute mark. We're going to get to the gym and Jon and Marty in the gym segment here in a quick second here. But I do want to address some of the comments here. RM coming in with or Good Time saying, I love the honesty. Absolutely, that's what you get here on the show. Like Good Time, we bring nothing but honesty. Hey team, we got to get Good Time on the show sometime. We got to get Good Time in here and bring on the show this and hang out. Arm comes in with me when it comes to needing a partner without having to be asked, especially when it comes to kudos and things like that. And then I got to put Brown Buddy on the stage here. Intimacy is more than just giving her back shots and taking her to Pound Town. It's paying attention to every detail. Great points here. Absolutely. And Shinku Gold. Yes, good to have you here, Shinku Gold. Happy to have you here in the lab. Good morning. Good to see you here, which is exceptional. And I got to say this, guys. Jon, Marty, Kristina. Since we've started this show, I've used this show as my own peer conversation with myself, right? For my own relationship. You guys all know how much I love my lovely Lauren. But I use this show to keep myself accountable, right? Where I'm like, okay, maybe I need to, maybe I'll be the one who's going to step up because Jon, it's something you've said, or Marty, I've heard something you say, but I use this show every single day. And I think Seth, you do too, right? You hear us talk about these things and it's like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll send a text to my wife, or I'll say I love you, or I'll say, hey, it's time to have a date. Because Jon, like you talk yourself, right? If we can't get out here and live the life that we're trying to encourage our audience to live, then who the hell are we? Right. So Johnny, I get a lot listening to you, pal. Marty, you too, buddy. And Kristina, talking to you and getting to know you, it's helped me live a better relationship with my wife. And I love leaning into it and making it a priority every single day so that I don't get into a situation where my wife says, oh, I got a complaint. Let's go to therapy. Right. So, we got to go. We just got to keep going with it. Right. So anyways, let's go to, we got Good Time popping in here. Oh, what do we got here? We got Good Time. Yeah. Keith hit the bagpipes and dance. I'll get to that. That's for sure. And what's this here? Can a dog participate in the group chat? That would be dope. Well, listen, I got a couple dogs. Johnny's got a couple dogs. Seth, you got any dogs? No, Seth just has insects. So no dogs joining the chat today. All right, boys. We're going to get to the in the gym segment, running a couple minutes behind. I'm going to get off stage. Tina's going to get off stage. Seth's going to get off stage. Seth, we're going to come back with the community corner, do the creator spotlight. You're more than welcome to stick around for that if you like, my friend. You know how we like to celebrate, folks. We know we have you on extra time here, which I'm very grateful for. But Jon and Marty are going to get up for a segment we called In the Gym. And it's a brand new segment we launched last week where we put these two experts in the gym and we let them loose. And as you may or may not know, Jon has spent some time in North Korea wrestling. But some of the questions that we had off the show yesterday was, what did you do? How do you keep fit? How do you train when you're not in your regular gym environment? And how do you, do you go run the fucking stairwells? Do you go and do push-ups in the parking lot? And I know that Marty's got a bunch of questions ahead about that. So let's get into that. Seth, Kristina, let's get off stage here. And guys, I just got to put this on here because this makes me feel really good. My lovely wife says this. You are a phenomenal husband and always make me feel the most special. So guys, thank you, Lauren. That is awesome. That makes me feel really good. Just like I know they make you feel good. And hey, sorry, nation, you're getting all the love fest coming from the husband and wife on the show. But if you guys don't like it, go listen to somewhere else. Jon, Marty, you guys are up. Let's do some in the gym. Seth, let's go hang out with Kristina in the back room. Guys, you go to town here. Let's do this. Boom, boom, and then boom.
All right, man. Let's talk about it. What'd you do to stay in shape? I know you weren't there just sitting around, not preparing for your matches and everything.
100%. I mean, we were there for over a week too. So, and we weren't there. We never got to a gym, which is sometimes it's going to happen. So in those cases, you got to kind of take this, into your own hands, so to speak. But here's the deal: if you want to get some work in, you can get some work in wherever you want to. So like in North Korea, I pretty much did everything in my room. We had we were given these massive suites, but let's just pretend you're in a Motel 6 and you got barely enough room to walk around the bed and go take a piss. Well, if you got a walkway, you've got enough room. So literally, I mean, some of the, I'll even talk about the workouts that I'll use when I'm on the road. If I only literally have access to, if I don't have a stairwell or only my room. So body weight squats, you can do a leg workout with body weight squats. You can find a chair. You can do step ups. You can't do walking lunges, but you can do standing lunges where you're basically taking a step and pushing yourself back. So there's 3 really, really good compound movements that you can do body weight wise that will kick your butt. And if you think, oh, well, it's not challenging enough. Okay, knock out 50 body weight squats, which is going to whoop your ass to begin with. And then try to do some step ups or some lunges and tell me if that's not going to get the job done. Sometimes I'll even want to challenge myself where I'll done 10 sets of 100 reps body weight squats. You do that and you are limping. Now, granted, I didn't do that when I was in North Korea because I had to perform. I would have been hard pressed to be bouncing around the ring. Then push-ups. You can literally do push-ups. If you do a bunch of push-ups, you can do push-ups with your feet up on a chair. So you've got like an incline version. You can do regular push-ups. And what I do when I'm failing, when I can't do another push-up, I'll put my, if I'm doing, say, sets of failure, I'll basically do the push-ups till I can't do any more. Then I'll drop to my knees, call it a girl push-up, and keep on going. Those girl push-ups or the knee down push-ups, whatever you want to call them, those things are kicking my butt. And then, I mean, literally then from there, you're looking for some sort of a back, some sort of a pulling movement. Now that's a little bit more challenging. In that case, like if you're at home, you could use like a broomstick. You can put that between a couple of chairs. But ultimately what I'm getting at is there's so many ways to stay active when you're on the road. And in many cases, people say, oh, if I don't lift weights, I'm going to lose. No, you're not going to lose. Just so everybody knows, it's 10 full days before muscle atrophy will actually kick in. So if you worked out this whole week, right, and you hit every muscle, you could spend all next week not working out and not worry about muscle atrophy. Now, I'm not suggesting that, but I'm just helping people understand what type of wiggle room they have. So if you start doing body weight exercises because you don't have a gym, you're going to be fine. You're still be making progress. So that's how I approached it when I was in North Korea and any other place I am on the planet where I don't have access to a gym.
Hey, that's what's up, man. We got ARM here. I have one good side now. So what would be best to build my muscles back of the wheelchair and back driving now? I feel weak still, though. I have started to walk twice a week to start. What would you say to that, Johnny?
So I want to make sure I understand. So he's got an imbalance right to left. Is that correct?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay. So if it's imbalance left to right and there's not, I don't know much about the situation, but so if I'm speaking out of term, forgive me, but I hear this question all the time in terms of imbalances, right? Well, here's the thing. The body wants to be balanced. It's a survival mechanism. So let's just say that, Marty, let's say, pretend you and I are out. This is way back when food wasn't available at a grocery store. We had to go out and try to kill a zebra, bring it back to our people so we could all eat. Well, all of a sudden we stumble across a saber-toothed tiger and we take off running for our lives. Well, that tiger is going to look for the person who has the imbalance and he's going to take that person down first. So our bodies want to be balanced. So what I'm getting at, so the advice here is just continue to do what you do, continue to work, and your body will, a lot of the rebalancing will come naturally just out of a survival instinct or mechanism.
And what I'll say is you could do some unilateral training. So you can do, if you're going to lift some weights and you want to do rows, do dumbbells opposed to a barbell, right? That way your left side that's weaker will eventually catch up to your right if you're doing the same weight. So I would say anything, if it's legs, try lunges. Just and walking is fine as well, but do things that challenge both sides of your body and not just doing both sides at the same time, if that makes sense.
And on that level too, I would caution people. A lot of times there's an imbalance, and so they way overdo the side that needs to catch up, and what that does, it works against you, because if you do too much, it can't recover, and you need it to recover. So, yeah. So then in terms of training, when you don't have a gym or you're on the road, I was able to do it literally in my room in North Korea. So for those of you who say, oh, I can't do it, I don't want to hear that anymore.
BS. Yeah, and I mean, even like you look at there's guys on YouTube and all over social media doing stuff at the park. They're doing calisthenics, they're doing pull-ups, they're doing push-ups. A lot of guys don't even touch weights, and women, they don't even touch weights, and they have bomb bodies. So
massive, great looking physiques.
Don't sleep on the body weight.
100%. And when we were there, another thing too, when we were in North Korea, we had a really busy schedule. So I was getting my stuff done on some days in like a small 30-minute window. I was just busting my ass for a real short period of time because that was all the free time that we had. And so just remember, it's just don't let these little restrictions get in the way.
Yeah, and at that point, if you have a small window, 20, 30 minutes, talk about how the intensity comes in. So, I heard you say you were doing some stuff till failure. Did you do everything till failure? Did you do, 100 reps, everything? And talk about why it's important to increase the intensity with that small amount of time.
Well, I think what it comes down to is you got to look at the time you got, and you got to look at, can I get what I need to get done in that time? And so sometimes in that short period of time, you're going to have to really raise the volume. So perfect example, you got a real short period of time, you want to get some legs in, just start attacking the workout. You get a couple of really, really high volume sets. Like if you knocked out, the first set was 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 reps of body weight squats, you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball real fast. And just at that point, all you got to do is stay busy for the rest of your time limit, and you are really kicking your butt. So what I would suggest in that short time is start off with that, get yourself warmed up, and make that first set just a barn burner, ball buster. And then at that point, just keep leaning on it. And you don't have to do, once you're really cooked, it doesn't take as much for the sets to follow to keep to get the job done.
So did y'all like rehearse over there? Did you go over what your role was going to be in the match, or what your partner's role was going to be? Because I'm sure that's like a workout as well on top of what you did at your suite.
Yeah. I mean, so I was teamed up with Bob Sapp. And great dude, love the dude, but his memory is very short. And so of course we know what's supposed to happen of course, I mean, for the most part, wrestling matches, I shouldn't say the most part, wrestling it's predetermined. We know who's going to win before we go in there. And so, there's a lot of rehearsing, a lot of practicing, but with my partner, Bob, there was a lot of things that didn't go to plan. So we just had to make sure that we ended up finishing the way we were supposed to. But on that level, on the day of the match, I've got to make sure that I didn't overly exert myself so I can perform at the level I need to, especially when it comes to in a setting like that, where we're expected to perform at the highest level.
Definitely.
Great chat happening here in the side feed here. Good Time's been here with us now for 5 weeks. Just starting something small and getting after day after day after day. Jon, one thing I appreciate about you've taught me. We talk about teaching old dogs new tricks. You taught me to chase the feeling. And I want to bring Seth up here. Seth, I want to bring you up on stage here with us, pal, because you're out and about all the time, and you're in the truck, you're doing your thing, and out servicing customers. And sometimes we're like, I don't want to do push-ups, or I don't want to go and get a lift in, or I want to go and run or do some burpees or to get something in throughout the day. Jon, talk about the power of chasing a feeling in the middle of the day, just dropping down, doing burpees, or dropping down, do some walking lunges, and getting it done. Because Jon, I have not been very good at that. I don't know, Seth, if that's ever any of interest of yours, but as you go through the day, Jon, and people make excuses, we really don't have any excuses to chase a feeling and then get that dopamine hit. Hey, Jon?
Well, I mean, when it comes, especially if you're talking about doing push-ups or body weight squats or none of this stuff is very sexy. A lot of times not very exciting. So you don't look at, oh man, I can't wait to do these, body weight squats till I'm limping. you envision how good it's going to feel when you finish that last set.
Yes.
And then at that point, that's your focus. You're focused on, because this is something I actually stumbled across when I was young. It was like I was working so hard, and there were times like, God, I don't want to do this. And then I would just think, man, okay, visualize how good it's going to feel when you walk out of here knowing you checked all your boxes.
Yes.
And that became like such a powerful thing for me. And the best part about that, more you practice it, the better it works.
Yeah.
And then you can take it, you can apply it to stuff that's extraordinarily boring, and you can get through it really, really efficiently. So it's all about chasing it. You got to visualize it.
Yeah.
You got to visualize it with a detail enough that your brain actually gives you the emotion. You can feel that emotion in your body. An emotion is a physical thing. It goes through your body. Okay, boom. That's how it feels when I'm done. Now I got to go get that feeling. I don't want that just for a minute. I want that feeling for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Seth, wrapping up this segment here in the gym with Jon and Marty, and I just want to look at you, pal. When you hear Jon talk about those things and you're out and about doing your thing, do you find yourself dropping, doing burpees, going for a walk, doing lunges? You're like, fuck Keith, I got none of that is of interest to me. Or are you the kind of guy that you go to the gym or you go take care of yourself? Like, talk a little bit about what some of the things Jon and Marty are talking about. And do you weave that into your day, Seth, when you're out and about? Because I know you're sitting a lot, but you get up and you go, you sit, you walk and go. Like, does this resonate with you, Seth? Or talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, I think take the opportunities you can get. I think my customers would look sideways if I was in their driveway doing push-ups, but I'm stretching, I'm touching my toes plenty of times, just walk around the other side of the truck. And yeah, because I'm in that truck and I'm getting tight and I can feel it. So I stretch, but I'm wearing a 4-gallon backpack and none of my houses are flat. So I'm hiking up and down around these houses every day. And you just, take 2 steps at a time or something like that. And just, change the intensity and take your opportunities. Cause saying I'll do it later. Doesn't count.
Yeah. So Seth, man, I knew you're so listen, dude, you're a business athlete, and just that comment right now, find your opportunities. Right. And I love that Brown Bally comes in and says, great segment on using calisthenics. It's true, Marty, Jon, we don't talk enough about these kinds of things, but this is the kind of content that I think our audience needs to hear, right? There is no excuses, right? We always have a reason. Listen, I was hanging out with Marty a few months ago and we were walking into a gym and Marty dropped down, did some push-ups. I'm like, all right, there you go, brother. You go get after it. So,
hold on. We needed to get ready for a new button, Marty.
Yeah.
You ready? Excuses are like assholes. Everybody got them and they all stink.
That'll be the new button.
Oh, that is good.
That'll be the new button.
So hold on, I got to bring on producer Kristina Flynn because we're wrapping up the show here.
Hold on. We got one more. If we're making buttons, let's make one more. All right.
Yeah.
Procrastination is just like jerking off. You're only fucking yourself.
We got some
come on, Daddy. Say, come on, Marty. You got to give me. Come on, you got to give me an LL Cool J, Marty. Come on, man.
Come on, man. We got new buttons. I'll make those buttons tonight. I got you.
This is awesome. And we got a good time coming in to close the segment here, Jimmy. We can close off the In the Gym with Jon and Marty segment. Don't wait for the check engine light come on. Thank you, guys. And we're going to get to the community corner, the creator spotlight. Tina, Marty, so Seth, you've been hanging out with us enough. You listen to the show. So Seth, I feel like you're one of our co-hosts. I got a question for all of us. Instead of talking behind Jon's back, we'll just talk in front of Jon's back. So does this dude just like go to sleep and like come up with quotes in the middle of his night? Like, does he have a book of quotes, or like, where does this young man pull these words and stitch them together? And Tina, I can see it's coming out of you. Tina. Like, what are you thinking is going on in Andersen's head when the show's over? So he's like, I got something for this. I got something for these guys. Tina, what do you think is happening over there?
Jon is the epitome of what you want to be. Like, yes. He takes his unique perspective and lived experience and linguistics, would we call it that? And he puts that shit together.
I love it.
In a way that nobody has ever put them together. And I think like that is how you have the competitive advantage, people.
Yeah.
If you start being you at all times and use that unique experience, nobody's going to be able to take that from you. Imagine Marty saying the shit that fucking Jon said.
Marty,
would not sound right.
It wouldn't sound right.
It wouldn't sound right. And I agree. I got my way of saying stuff too. So,
yes. And Seth, I would love to hear your point of view as not only a listener, but now an active guest host on the show. And we're definitely going to have you back, brother. Like, what do you think is going on as you're driving, listening to what the hell is Andersen going to say now? Like, what do you think is going on there, Kuhn?
Oh man, I think Jon likes to keep it simple.
There we go, baby.
He takes this life experience, this big life experience, and he's brought it down to his phrase.
Distill it, baby.
Distill it. And lives by it. And that's what's happening. But you know what I say? I say excuses are like noses. Everyone has one, and they all smell.
Oh, there we go. That's the PG version. Let's go, baby. I'll take that.
That's it. I'm just busy telling pole jokes. All right, so we have good times.
I didn't even catch that. A what joke?
Because it wasn't a joke.
It's like it's a running joke from before y'all even joined the show.
It's one of those things. Yeah. It's like nobody will ever understand, but he keeps bringing it.
That's right. Yeah,
it was awful. Yeah, and he just keeps saying it.
Come on, Seth, help me, brother.
But yeah, is your creator spotlight from Warsaw today? Because I thought you might have a poll on LinkedIn.
Yeah, well, yes. See, Marty, I know this is exactly why I have Seth Kuhn on the show here, because I need to have ammunition in my pocket. So Seth is welcome back.
Hold on. What do you need in your pocket? Come on. What do you need in your pocket, Keith?
Ground beef.
You need a bag with some sort of real food protein is what you need in your pocket.
What is going on, Tina?
What are you doing, Marty?
I love today's show because Seth is on it, and Seth. We all haven't talked about Seth. The fact that Seth's a comedian too, guys. So Seth he was running a joke a day for I think 8,000 days, and there was days I'd be just sitting around and I just find some laughter, and Seth Seth makes me laugh. So Seth, I appreciate having you on the show today. We're gonna get to the creator spotlight. Good time is like, hey. You guys banned me a while ago. And yes, you're right, Good Time. But listen, I'm going to give this to Good Time because Good Time wants to have this right now, so I can appreciate this too.
Castrated goat? You going to be a castrated goat?
All right.
Oh, okay. There we go.
We're creating good content right now. Yeah, I got the M&M shirt on. Yeah, that's it. There you go, Good Time, just for you here this morning.
That looks like some serious white boy dancing, brother.
That's exactly what it is.
I'm not saying I'm any better. Just for the record.
I'm going to pull Tina off the stage because I don't want to hear what the hell she has to say. So listen, we're going to go to the Creator Spotlight, the Community Corner show, part of the show here. Johnny's going to go to the restroom. Seth's going to hang around here for a while. And we are going to wrap this show up here very, very shortly. We are going to do this. So, Johnny, you're going to get off to the restroom break. Seth, hang around for the Creator Spotlight.
I'm going to run, too. I'm going to run to the restroom as well.
Marty's taking off, too. See you, Marty. Seth, you can hang out, pal. Good. Yeah, you hang out with us. Yeah. To hell with them, man. You can hang out with us. You keep going that here. So, I am going to keep being me. Good Time. Thank you. That's why I do what I do. And that's just what I like to do here. All right, Jimmy, ready to rock and roll, man? Let's do this. Let's do the Creator Spotlight. All right, so we have somebody who does not join us, but they are from the greater Philadelphia area. She saves time and stress while she scales profitability with custom system design. She is all about, I gotta find here. She's the ex-CEO at Fort Labs, the current COO at Casey Jones, solo CEO. She's the founder of Systematic U. She helps business owners eliminate chaos and regain control with scalable systems. She blends theory and practice. She has 6 degrees, including dual doctorates and a law degree. Geez, accomplished. And a law degree in progress. She combines academic rigor with real-world expertise. Today's Creator Spotlight that we are shining light on the big old Rocky statue in Philadelphia is, and Seth, if Marty's not here, I got to get you to do the drum roll for us, please. Today's Creator Spotlight for Mornings in the Lab on Thursday is Monica Risavi, I think is how we say it. So, Kristina, we brought Monica on the stage today to shine light on Monica. Why are we shining light on Monica today, Kristina Flynn?
I love what Monica's doing, and she's approaching it from a very unique perspective. So if you know Marie Kondo or the concept of Marie Kondo, I think Monica is the Marie Kondo of information. She could take all of your information in all of the various areas of your life, whether business or personal. She knows how to sort them and have them make sense. And I think as a business owner, particularly, I'm a neurodiverse business owner, her skill level so many people need, and she's just able to present it in a way, because of her academic background, in a way that makes sense and is really approachable. She's able to say, I could do this for you, but also I'm going to teach you how to do it for yourself. So I think she's just offering really, really valuable advice. And in this world that has a ton of automation experts, I actually think Monica has a great background and credentials to be able to back up what she says. She's not just saying like, these are the things you should do to automate your life. She's going to give you very clear and very concise direction on how to take this chaotic world of digital information that we have around us and make it make sense so you can be more efficient and be more productive. She actually knows her shit, and she's a lot of fun to be around as well.
That's awesome. Monica, we love celebrating you here today. Congratulations for being named Mornings in the Lab Creator Spotlight. Monica Risavi from Philadelphia. Listen, Nation, if you're looking for systems, if you want to get workflows and automations in your business, I would invite you to go knock on Monica's door, because Kristina, it sounds like she can probably help.
100% she can help.
100% she can help. And Monica, we'd love to have you on the show to talk about what you do, to celebrate you, and have you come and invite somebody else to be spotlighted in today's Creator Spotlight. All right, so that is working towards the end of our show here. And hey, Kristina, Seth, the guys aren't back yet, so we can actually quickly wrap the show up and get the hell out of here, and they won't even know that we're done yet. So
come back.
We could just come back and we're done. Exactly. What a lot of fun today. What did you guys take from the show today? Kristina, starting with you.
I just had a lot of fun. I think today really flowed. I think the conversation was really good. We told a lot of stories today, which is always, of course, my favorite. So I just thought all in all, it was a really, really great day. And it's been so far a really great week of conversations. We got another great one coming up tomorrow in Darian Parker. So I'm just feeling real happy.
Awesome. What'd you take out of today's show, Marty?
Oh man, Seth, you got an amazing story. Definitely provided some great value. We appreciate you actually being part of the show instead of just being in the comments and engaging with us. Yes. We thank you for that too, but it was good to get to know you. And I think that segment, the gym segment with me and Jon, is always great. So great show today.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Johnny.
Oh man. What I love about today was it's all of what we're talking about with, your side hustle and it's no longer a conversation because we've actually got someone here doing it.
Yes.
So it's not just us, talking all this grand plan. This is what people that want it do. And Seth is a living, breathing example. So if you're out there saying, oh man, this sounds great, but people don't do this, think again.
Yeah, absolutely. And Seth, I'm going to come to you in a quick second here. Yarm, God, thank you for awesome. First time here and loved it. Sub, thank you. Thanks again for all. And listen, if you're tuning in quickly, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like the channel, come back daily, 8 o'clock Eastern time. We are rocking and rolling, giving you guys content to help you guys get moving here. And Seth, final word to you, my friend, before I offer this to you. Dude, I appreciate you, man. I love your content in the LinkedIn feed. I have loved getting to know you through your words, through your humor, through the videos you put out. And what I've enjoyed most about the show today is just you being on for the whole show. Seriously, I've thoroughly enjoyed your company, and I hope you'll come back and hang out with us. I feel like you're like this unofficial co-host that sits in the comments. You tune in every single day. You give me feedback. Dude, I have nothing but appreciation because I know you can put your time elsewhere, but you choose to spend your time with myself. Thank you. So Seth, final word to you, pal. What'd you take from today's show?
Oh man, there's so much. And I can't say thank you enough for you guys even putting this out here. I listen every day and I'm making changes and I'm growing because of it. So thank you for so much for that. And I think today, the biggest thing that I'm going to be thinking about all day is what Jon said, that if you're uncomfortable, if you don't know if you can do it, you're in the right spot.
Yes.
And you know what? Hearing that's powerful and helps me keep going. So thank you.
Beautiful, brother. Beautiful.
I thought you were going to say the one thing you took from Jon today was you have to have a baggie of food in your pocket every single day.
I do take a baggie of almonds to work now.
There we go, baby. There we go. Let's do it. Come on.
Awesome. On behalf of Seth Kuhn, CMartyFit, Jon Andersen, Kristina Flynn, and of course, my good friend CMartyFit and producer Jimmy, we're going to get out of here and see you guys tomorrow with Darian Parker, Mornings in Live, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Guys, let's get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow.